You're awake again. It's 3:27 a.m. You check your phone. You sigh. You know the drill. Lie still, close your eyes, try to fall back asleep. Because you've been told waking up in the middle of the night means something is wrong. But what if it doesn't? What if waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a problem at all? What if you're not broken? What if, for thousands of years, humans slept exactly like you're sleeping right now? And what if the real problem is that we forgot how we're supposed to sleep? Hi, I'm Ethan, and what I'm about to show you will completely change how you think about sleep. For most of human history, we didn't sleep the way we do now. We didn't sleep in one 8-hour block. We slept in 2 separate phases. And this wasn't some fringe practice or cultural quirk. This was normal, universal, expected. It shows up in medieval court documents, in the works of Shakespeare and Chaucer, in the diaries of Benjamin Franklin. But somehow, over the last 150 years, we completely erased this from our collective memory. And now, millions of people lie awake at 3 a.m. thinking they're broken, when their bodies are just trying to do what they've always done. This is the forgotten history of segmented sleep. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at your sleep the same way again. Chapter 1, the way that we used to sleep. Let me take you back to 1600 Europe. No electricity, no alarm clocks, no smartphones. Just you, your family, and the natural rhythm of the sun and the moon. Here's how a normal night looked. Shortly after sunset, around 8 or 9 p.m., you'd go to bed. The day's work was done, and candles were expensive. Darkness meant rest. You'd fall into a deep sleep. 3 to 4 hours later, around midnight or 1 a.m., you'd naturally wake up. And here's the key part. This was completely normal. You wouldn't panic, you wouldn't toss and turn, you'd just get up. You'd light a candle, maybe pray, reflect on the day, read scripture or poetry. Some people would talk quietly with their spouses about plans for tomorrow, dreams they'd had, or worries on their mind. Others would do light chores, tend to the fire, check on the animals, even visit a neighbor's house for a chat. And historians have found something interesting. This period between sleeps was considered the ideal time for intimacy between couples. Yep, you heard me right. The body was rested, the mind was calm, there was no rush. This wasn't sleep deprivation, this was called the watch, or first sleep and second sleep. After an hour or two of quiet wakefulness, you'd naturally feel drowsy again. You'd blow out the candle, lie back down, and drift into your second sleep. Another 3 to 4 hours until dawn. Total sleep time, 7 to 8 hours. Just split into 2 parts. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds made up. Where's the proof? Well, actually, the proof is everywhere. Historian Roger Eckrich spent 16 years researching this. He found over 500 references to segmented sleep in historical documents. Legal records mention crimes committed after first sleep. Chaucer wrote about it. So did Dickens and Homer. Medieval texts from the 1700s gave advice on what to do during this waking period. This wasn't obscure knowledge. This was just how people slept, across cultures, across continents, for thousands of years. To our ancestors, the idea of sleeping straight through the night for 8 hours would have seemed bizarre. To them, you would be the weird one. So, what happened? How do we get from this peaceful, natural 2-part sleep to treating 3 a.m. wakefulness like a medical emergency? The answer is simple, but uncomfortable. The Industrial Revolution. Let me paint you a picture. It's the late 1700s. Steam engines are changing everything. Factories are popping up in cities across Europe and America. And factories have one big problem with segmented sleep. It's inefficient. If your workers are naturally waking up at midnight to pray, chat with neighbors, and putter around for an hour or two, well, you can't run a 12-hour factory shift. You can't extract maximum productivity. So the 8-hour consolidated sleep block becomes the new standard. Not because it's healthier, not because it's more natural, but because it fits the factory schedule. Then comes artificial light. Gas lamps in the 1800s. Edison's light bulb by the 1880s. Suddenly, human activity isn't governed by the sun anymore. You can work later, socialize later, and stay up later. Your natural sleep window, the one governed by darkness and circadian rhythm, gets compressed. Bedtime gets pushed from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., and then midnight if you're anything like me, but wake time? Still 6 a.m. for the factory whistle. Your body still wants to wake up at midnight for that ancient watch period? Too bad. You have got work in the morning, so you train yourself to sleep through it, or at least try to. And when people complained to doctors about waking up in the middle of the night, unable to fall back asleep, doctors didn't say, "Oh, that's your natural sleep pattern trying to emerge." They said, "You, sir, have insomnia. Bad. That is very bad. You have a disorder. Here's some medication." By the early 1900s, segmented sleep had been completely scrubbed from the public consciousness. Medical textbooks stopped mentioning it. Sleep research ignored it. It became a forgotten relic of the pre-industrial world, and an entire civilization started believing that waking up at night meant something was wrong with you. But here's the truth. Your body, it never forgot. Fast forward to 1992. Psychiatrist Dr. Thomas Werr at the National Institute of Health is running an experiment. He wants to know, what happens to human sleep patterns when you remove all artificial light? And what he discovered? Changed everything. So he takes a group of healthy volunteers and puts them in a completely controlled environment. 14 hours of total darkness every single night, from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. No electric lights, no screens, no clocks, no phones, just darkness. At first, people sleep a lot. They're catching up on years of accumulated sleep debt. But after about a week, something remarkable happens. Every single participant falls into the same pattern. They sleep for about 4 hours, wake up naturally, stay awake for 1 to 2 hours quietly without any stress, and then fall back asleep for another 4 hours. Segmented sleep, just like their ancestors. But here's what really blew Dr. Werr's mind. During that middle waking period, participants weren't anxious and they weren't restless. Blood tests showed elevated levels of prolactin, a hormone associated with relaxation, bonding, and a sense of peace. This wasn't insomnia. This was a natural, calm, meditative state. Participants described it as a deeply peaceful time of clarity, reflection, and creativity. One person said, "It felt like being suspended in a waking dream." The conclusion? When you strip away artificial light and let the human body follow its natural rhythm, segmented sleep emerges every single time. It's not a historical accident. It's not culture. It's biological and it's hardwired into us. Other studies have confirmed this. Across ages, across cultures, your body, when left to its own devices, wants to sleep in 2 phases. We've just spent the last 150 years forcing it to do otherwise. So here you are at 3:27 a.m., wide awake, your mind's racing, and you're watching this video. Why can't I sleep? What's wrong with me? Do I have a disorder? Should I go see a doctor? Do I need that medication? Well, now you know the truth. There's probably nothing wrong with you. Your body is trying to follow a rhythm that's thousands of years old, a rhythm that modern society has tried and failed to erase. Waking up in the middle of the night isn't a malfunction. It's an echo, your biological memory. Your DNA remembers what your conscious mind has forgotten. So what should you do when you wake up at 3 a.m.? Don't fight it. The worst thing you can do is lie there stressed, trying to force yourself back to sleep. That stress response actually makes it harder to fall back asleep. And whatever you do, don't grab your phone. Blue light from screens tells your brain it's daytime. It suppresses melatonin and it ruins your chances of a peaceful second sleep. Instead, get up. Move to another room if you can. Keep the lights dim. Light a candle, I guess if that's your thing, and read something calming. Journal, let your thoughts flow into paper, or just meditate, stretch, and breathe. Do what your ancestors did. Use this time for quiet reflection. Then, when you feel drowsy again, and believe me, you will, just go back to bed. Trust your body. It knows what it's doing. This isn't insomnia. This is your body doing what it's designed to do. Now, I'm not saying everyone should adopt segmented sleep full time. Modern life doesn't really accommodate for it. Jobs, kids, schedules, I get it. But if you're someone who regularly wakes up at night and feels broken because of it, maybe you're not broken. Maybe you're just human. Here's the irony of all of this. We're living in a golden age of sleep technology. Smart rings that track your REM cycles, AI-powered mattresses, apps that promise to hack your sleep. Companies are making billions of dollars trying to engineer that perfect 8-hour sleep. Maybe the solution to our modern sleep crisis isn't innovation. Maybe it's just remembering what our bodies already know. That for most of human history, we didn't fight our natural rhythms. We followed them. We slept in harmony with darkness, with seasons, and with the cycles of the moon. We didn't need sleep tracking rings or melatonin supplements. We just listened. And maybe if we stopped trying to force our bodies into an industrial mold, if we gave ourselves permission to wake up, to be still, and to rest again on our own terms, we'd sleep better than we ever have. Because the truth is this, the body remembers what the world forgot. So the next time you wake up at 3:27 in the morning, don't panic, don't scroll, just breathe. Sit with the quiet, because you're not broken. You're just human, doing what humans have done for thousands of years. And there's something beautiful about that. So here's my question for you. Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night and just stayed there in the quiet? Did it feel wrong? Or did it feel oddly peaceful? Drop a comment and let me know below. I'm genuinely curious how many of you have experienced segmented sleep without even realizing it was natural. If this changed how you think about sleep, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. We're diving deep into sleep science, forgotten history, and the ways that modern life is quietly breaking us. And if you want to learn more about how to actually improve your sleep, check out this video right here. Until then, sleep well in whatever way your body tells you to. And remember, 3 a.m. isn't the enemy. It's just a very old friend we forgot we had.